Hey guys, I think that title says it all. Today I'll share my opinion on the just released MacBook Pros late 2016. So before I start this video, I just have to say that I do not own the new MacBook Pro 2016. I just refer to things I've seen, I've read, or that I heard. So I hope you still find it interesting. And also, just so you know, I do not hate Apple. I really love their products. I use a Mac Pro for my video editing. I use a MacBook Air for general surfing and text editing. And my family uses a 6-year-old MacBook Pro, which is still very usable. And if we're just talking about it, I was using iPhones for years. So yeah, I'm not anti-Apple in general. And I was really looking forward to that MacBook release. I hope that Apple would announce something very nice, very revolutionary, that would just be on par with the MacBooks they've released in the previous years. So I will begin with the things I like about the new MacBook Pro. So thing number one I like is the industrial design. It has again a very nice design. This time the hinge isn't made out of black plastics like it was on the old MacBook Air. It is just made out of aluminum, so it just looks a bit more premium than it already was looking like. Another thing I like is the Touch Bar and Touch ID sensor that they just built in above the keyboard. It's a small AMOLED screen that displays various functions like your Final Cut Pro, a timeline, or some tools for your Photoshop editing software. Yes, in my opinion it's very nice, but of course there was something from HP, I think it was, and that was a quick toggle toolbar for quick settings, but it's nothing like the thing that Apple just introduced, and I really like it. So yeah, but I don't know if it'll be very helpful because me generally, I do not look down while I'm typing when I'm using my MacBook, so maybe it'll be just rubbish, but it does look nice on pictures. And thing number three I like is that they improved the speakers. The speakers on my MacBook Air are very weak, but I think they improved it with the new MacBook as well as the new MacBook Pro, and I've heard good reviews so far, and that is another thing I like. But unfortunately the list about things that I don't like is much longer, and now you'll find out why. So let's just begin with the name, MacBook Pro. Pro stands for professional, productivity. So a device that calls itself Pro should be very good for creative people. It should be able to do a lot of work without much hassle. It should do everything with ease that professional people need. They don't want to have a lot of problems with the machines. They just need the machine to work, and they want it to be powerful and as good as it can be. So just in general, that's what I think a Pro device should be like. But I don't really know if the new MacBook Pro can really live up to that name, Pro. And here's why. Let's just begin with the ports. And of course, yes, ports is a thing that was really heavily discussed in the YouTube community already, but I just want to share my view on it. So I'm a creative, I do a lot of video editing, so I really need an SD card slot because my cameras are all shooting on SD cards, and to be honest, the software for wireless transferring data files from your camera to your computer is rubbish. It's just bad. It lags, sometimes it doesn't work, and an SD card is just so simple. It's a slim slot. And I don't know why they didn't put it into the new MacBook Pro, because it's a very thin piece of port. So that could have been something that they should have implemented in the new MacBook Pro, because a lot of creative people are relying on MacBook Pros. A lot of creative people are using MacBook Pros. It has become an industry standard. So I don't know why they've removed the SD card slot when so many photographers, videographers are using a MacBook Pro. That's thing number one I don't like about the ports. Thing number two I don't like about the new MacBook Pro's ports is that they removed the MagSafe connector. For those of you that don't know what the MagSafe connector is, it's the charging port that is magnetic, so if you fall over the cable, only the cable will fly off and your computer will stay on the table. Which has saved my computer so many times, and it has saved me so many times from buying a new laptop, because I constantly get stuck in those cables, I don't know why. And yeah, that's why I love the MagSafe connector. and now they've just removed it, and that is something I don't like. And what have they replaced it with? With USB Type-C connectors, and they also work as Thunderbolt for very fast data transfer rates. So you also charge your computer with USB Type-C, which will mean your magnetic connection went missing. You just don't have it anymore. Some models come with 2 USB Type-C connectors, some models come with 4. It all depends on how much you want to pay. Like general version that doesn't have the touch bar and Touch ID sensor only has 2, and the more expensive ones have 4. So what is the problem with all those USB Type-C connectors? Well, Apple themselves say USB Type-C is the industry standard, and I really have to disagree with that. Well, like, where is USB Type-C the industry standard? No device except for some smartphones or some hard drives use USB Type-C. It's nowhere near a industry standard in my opinion. All my hard drives are using USB connectors, all my phones are using USB connectors, all my USB flash drives are using USB connectors. And it's just so simple and easy to just be able to plug it into every device. And I don't know why you would want to remove it from a Pro device. Also, the problem is the cheaper version of the MacBook Pro only has 2 USB Type-C connectors. So I use my computer a lot. It's constantly empty, so I have it constantly plugged into an outlet. So one USB Type-C connector is used by the charging cable. So I only have one USB connector or one USB Type-C connector left to plug anything into it. Like, that is a real problem. I often use both USB connectors on my MacBook Pro, and now you have to buy adapters, or you have to buy a USB Type-C to USB 3.0 hub adapter, which is just expensive and not needed in a Pro device, and I don't know why they would remove that. And me personally, I would like the device to be just a tad bigger or thicker in order to have USB connectors. And that is the thing at the moment with Apple. They think, yeah, I think the customers will use USB Type-C in the future, but we're not living in the future, we're living in the present. We're not 2 or 3 years from now, and I think that in 2 or 3 years we will still be using USB 3.0, but we're just not there yet. So why remove every single USB port that was on the MacBook Pro? I just don't get it. Why would you need 4 USB Type-C connectors? Like, seriously? I'm really bitching here, but it's just my opinion. So let us just look at the previous MacBook Pro. It had a SD card slot, 2 USB connectors, 2 Thunderbolt connectors, and it even had an HDMI output. And that was the perfect ports for a MacBook Pro. And that was the perfect combination for a traveling creative. He was quickly able to insert his SD card, he was quickly able to plug in an external hard drive for video editing on the go, and that is just not possible without any adapters now. So everything is bulky. If you're on a tiny plane seat and you only have that tiny table, you now have to plug in all those adapters just to connect a SD card, because you have to buy an external SD card reader. I think that's just not the point of having a Pro device, and the MacBook Pro traditionally was targeted at Pro users, at creatives, and now they just can't use it without any hassle, and it's really something that bothers me, because I was really looking forward to that device. I was really thinking about buying it, but now it's just a big disappointment, and I think to call it a MacBook Pro isn't justified. So another problem is the price at the moment. Of course, MacBooks always have been expensive, and they've always been a big investment to make if you wanted to own one. But the new ones, they're just too damn expensive. Like, the base price was put up by $200, which is much, but especially in Europe, those prices are much higher. For example, a fully spec'd out MacBook Pro 15-inch with the new version costs 4,999 euros, so 5,000 euros, which are $5,600. Just believe that. That's a small car. For a MacBook Pro, I don't think that is justified. And if you compare it to the previous generation MacBook, which was only around $3,700, $3,800, dollars or euros fully spec'd out, I think that price difference isn't justified. So you pretty much pay a higher price for a better screen, a slightly thinner body, but you pay more for decreased productivity and much more hassle in everyday usage. And I don't think that this high price, as I said, is justified. I just don't think it is. If you want a MacBook Pro and you don't want to go to Windows or Microsoft, which I can understand because I also really love OS X, then I think it's better to buy a previous generation MacBook. You can have it for much less with the fully spec'd out version, and the prices will probably fall in the next weeks and months. So really, if you want to be productive, if you are creative, buy the old generation. The new one just isn't it. It's just no cutting it. It's like the normal MacBook with slightly higher specs, but nothing more. It's not a pro device in my opinion, and I just can't see myself using it if I was a professional. I just don't think it's good. So I hope this video wasn't too bitchy. I just wanted to share my opinion because I can't understand that Apple does something like this. And I think that it will really hurt their MacBook Pro sales. I really think that it will hurt. Because everyone that is slightly interested in tech specs or technology will know that this is a big rip-off and it's just not good for today's world, for the present. And yeah, that's just my opinion. So if you like this video, make sure you give it a like. I'm really interested in your opinion about that whole MacBook Pro discussion. There are a lot of discussions going on. I really know that. So leave a comment in the comment section below on what you think about that new MacBook Pro 2016. Also make sure you follow me on all my social media channels that you can see right now. And did I say you have to subscribe to my channel if you want to stay updated with the newest videos? If not, then do so. Also, I've just started a BBM channel, which you can find the pin in the description box below if you're interested. So, see you in my next video. Until then, bye. And did I mention that the iconic Apple logo doesn't light up anymore on the new MacBook Pro? Like, I even have a Steve Jobs... Wait a minute. I even have a Steve Jobs sticker on it. And I can really say that Steve Jobs would cry if he knew what Apple is currently doing and then that they remove the glowing Apple logo. Like what? I don't understand that. Well, anyway.